Yeah. So introducing our delectable guest speaker of today. Her name is Francisca Chiamaka Udichukwu. She's a seasoned marketing professional with over 8 years of experience spanning retail, entertainment, e-commerce, finance, and hospitality. Throughout her career, she has remained passionate about leveraging marketing as a tool for problem solving, brand visibility, and business growth. Her expertise lies in developing and executing strategic marketing.
So that's basically market research. That's basically how we gather data to coin out a campaign called Bring a Friend, right? We attached incentives. We said, oh, if you come with a group of 4, you get this discount. If you come with a group of 5, you get this discount. If you come with a group of, if you come just with you and your friend, you get something, right? And the end result was basically increasing admissions by 18%. So I'm just building up, what necessarily is market research and what necessarily, why data is important, right? Because I mean, if we go back to my first slide, I said, marketing is not guessing. Data is required, to drive your marketing results. So on my next slide, I said what market research does for your marketing skills. 1, strategic thinking. It helps you to identify new opportunities. It helps in content creation by informing messaging that resonates. Social media and advertising, it ensures campaigns target the right people. It helps you to refine offerings based on real customer needs. So when you research, when you bend your head and want to find out why your customers tick, there's something it does to your brain. There's something that changes within you. In fact, how you even speak, right? How you speak, how you think, how you reason, how you craft out marketing messages to your customers, how you want them to even see you as a brand, right? Market research does that for you. It helps, it then builds this wall of, it basically removes the noise, right? It helps you to remove the noise. It helps you to sieve out the dirt from everything. It streamlines your decision-making process. It encourages you to think, to picture, to envision, to visualize, right? And it sort of helps you to have a vision board or a mood board in your brain where you begin to understand and put things in place. You begin to tell yourself, oh, this could work, this cannot work. You basically see your customers within you when you do some market research and when you gather data. Strategic thinking, it helps you to identify new opportunities. I'll give an example. When I wanted to, or how would I put it? When I wanted to move, right? I wanted to move jobs, and I started looking out for, oh, what's next? How do I grow, in my career? What organization would help me, or would I put on my CV and people would respect me and say, oh, yes, this person has actually done something or has, gotten results from somewhere, right? So I started researching. I started saying, okay, if I go to this particular organization, this role that I will take there is going to help me to fine tune my event marketing skills. It's going to help me to fine tune my sales promotion. Just as Sheil mentioned in the video, it's going to help me fine tune my digital marketing. My roles over the years have, they've helped me in different parts, different in fine-tuning some of my skills, such as consumer insight, such as event marketing, such as product development, such as digital marketing as well. When I did e-commerce, or when I was in my e-commerce role, I was able to, run email campaigns. I was able to create content, content creation, content marketing, so many things like that. And, it all built up to become something. Now, going into being the head of brands or going into the hospitality, market, and I'm like, okay, wow, I actually have some skill sets that have grown over the years that would help me to push this brand to the next stage. So it helps you to identify new opportunities. It helps you to inform, to create messages that resonate when you're creating your content. Some people will just come and put out content just like that and just forget about it, or just sit put and say, oh, I put up content today, this is what I'm going to just continuously do. But no, market research would help you to understand the kind of content your audience wants. It would even help you to see the kind of audience you're attracting to your page, right? Thankfully, Instagram, Facebook, the likes of Twitter have also, helped us to put analytics on our platforms, and you can directly just, engage with it, see who is engaging with your content, who is speaking, who is aligning with what you're saying, right? And with that, you're able to fine tune, you're able to tweak your content, and, and put out what resonates with the people that are coming to your page. Social media and advertising, it ensures campaigns target the right people. I know that some of us, or let me just say myself, I love what the advertising firms do, or advertising agencies do. Most of them, actually, some of them are still, coming up, while others have, gone far. The likes of Ogilvy, the likes of Extreme Media, Extreme Ideas, the likes of Noah's Ark, they don't do that, or they don't bring out campaigns out of the blue. They do market research. They gather data. They speak to the audience, and they allow the audience to speak to them. That's one thing I want you to also know, that while you're doing market research, while you're gathering data, allow it to be a two-way thing where you speak to them and they speak to you, right? You churn out or you ask questions, you have to wait for their answers, right? Their answers will then give you that insight on what next to do, what stage or what level are you at in understanding them, in understanding what they really need, right? So you have to be patient to gather that information. You have to be patient to hear what they are really saying, right? You don't just take data and use it in its raw form. You have to sit down, understand it. What exactly is this data saying? What exactly is my audience? What are they necessarily saying to me before you churn out, any campaign at all? I will give you an example. MTN did this campaign with Tunde, right? Before they jumped on him as, as an ambassador, I'm sure they've looked at him, they've looked at his purpose, they've looked at his achievements, they've also seen how the audience relates to him or with him, right? So it doesn't necessarily mean that your audience will speak directly with you. It could also be indirect communication, right? They've looked at it and they've seen that, oh, this audience that I've consistently spoken to through all my other campaigns, if I use this person, they are going to resonate with this person. So they carved out a campaign currently with him, and and it's been wonderful so far. Tunde is a Chelsea great. Like I admire him a lot, actually. I actually admire him. I admire what he's doing with chess, how he's moving mountains with chess. And, for MTN, who is, would I say, the giant of technology currently, aligning with a giant of chess, that's a great thing, right? So it helps you to target the right people. It ensures that your campaigns are rightly positioned, right? Ensures that your campaigns, speak correctly, accurately to your audience. Product development, it helps you to refine offerings based on real customer needs. I think one example I want to give based on this is when, in my former workplace, when we wanted to understand why a particular location wasn't, operating optimally. We wanted to know why the competitors were doing much more better. So the head of marketing and the head of content, traveled over to that location, went to the competitors' space and found out so many things, the ambience, the difference in ambience, the difference in product offerings, so many things they were doing much more better, right? So that's also market research, right? So they came back, gave us that data and said, oh, these people are doing this. Why can't we do it? These people are sending these things, are doing offerings, different kind of promotions, different kind of offerings. They're not just selling tickets. Why can't we do it? What exactly are we doing that, are they doing so differently that we cannot coin out of this our meeting and, push it? And I would say that eventually, when we started implementing it, we revamped the space, we got influencers going to that space, we got some new products like, sweet tasting popcorns. We started pushing our retail concessions, adding stuff to it, adding incentives to it. And, that was how we bumped up that location, right? And, we were able to develop new products such as different flavors of popcorns, shawarma, what do they need? What do they eat, over their location? Hot dog, chicken and chips, So we just, added it to our retail items, and that was it. That was how, growth, began in that location. So market research would help you in refining your offerings, refining what you sell to your customers, help you to know what they really need, their pain points. What are they trying to say? What are they lacking that you're bridging the gap for, right? So it basically helps you to bridge the gap, to put you in the middle, your customer, your business, you are in the middle, right? And you're able to feed into those two things, right? So market research does that for you, and it helps you to gain understanding of everything, in fact, of every single thing, because you're getting knowledge, you're getting data, and you're refining data to become insights. So I don't know if I'm making sense, please. If I'm making sense, please say hi, say hello. Hello. So I'm not making sense to anybody at all.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Okay, so on to the
We're
next.
in the chat box. We're in the chat box filling you.
Oh, I can't even see the chat box.
We're there. Gloria says hi. Favor says hi. Well, Lola says hello. Israel says hi. Peace says yes, you are. Ayomide says hello. Esosa says hi. So we are here. We're here filling you. We are with you all the way.
Thank you very much. So this webinar is not going to be 2 hours long because I want us to talk. I want us to gist very well. So I'm just going to run through my slides and explain it as fast as I can so that we will gist into the day. And oh, I'm so sorry. Happy International Women's Day to my lovely ladies. You guys are doing awesome out there. I mean, it's Marketing Girls Corner. I do not know about the guys here, but I mean, happy International Women's Day to all of us. We are doing awesome, right? Accelerate action. So on to the next slide. What is data-driven? Sorry, what is data-driven decision making? I don't know if anybody wants to help me at all. What do you think data-driven decision making is? From all I've been saying and rambling about, what do you think that is? I don't know who can help me.
I think that means decisions that are being driven by data, decisions that are being driven by market research, gathering data, and also like just coming to a conclusion on what the next step of action should be via data.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Favor. That's exactly what data-driven decision making is. I'll take you back to my first slide where you said marketing is not guessing, right? You need data. You need data. I will keep on saying it. You need data, right? You need data that would give you that knowledge to speak to your customers, on how to speak to your customers, on how to position your brand, on how to drive that marketing activity, right? On how to even shape your marketing strategy. Without data, you can't come up with a strategy because your strategy is basically you looking into the future, right? If I do this, this is how my customers would align with me, or this is how they will resonate with my brand. So how then do you look into the future when you do not have data, when you do not have insights, right? When you do not have anything at all? So are you going to be doing any, mini, money, more? You shouldn't actually be doing any, mini, money, more when it comes to marketing, because that means you would waste resources. That means you won't have results. That means your ROI will be zero. Like there won't even be there won't be nothing if you do not have data. Data is the foundation. It is what you start with, right? You must first start with data. That's why when you're deriving a marketing strategy, even before you even derive that market, the first thing is your persona, your target audience, because you have to do that research, right? You have to, it's a must. You have to understand, who do I want to speak to? So it is from your persona, your buyer persona. That's when you now derive your strategy. Okay, this person likes this person doesn't like this. This is how this person works. This is how this person operates. So what strategy would then be the best to attract this person to my brand? So let's move on. So what is data-driven decision making? It is using data to shape marketing strategy. Why is it important? Like I said, it eliminates guesswork. It helps predict consumer behavior. It improves ROI, return on investment, on campaigns. It enhances customer engagement and satisfaction. A lot of people just go out there and just start selling without understanding who they want to sell to, without knowing the pockets of the people they are selling to. They are just speaking to everybody. By the time, when you speak to everybody, you speak to no one. When you speak to everybody, you speak to no one, right? So that's why data-driven decision-making is very essential, right? Because you need to speak to somebody, or two people, or three. You just need to speak, you need to be able to streamline and say, yes, this is the particular person I'm speaking to, right? And it will make meaning, it will make sense to you, and even to the people you're speaking to, or you are expected to speak to. Because by the time you're speaking to everybody, you're basically just shouting into the market, screaming into the market, and expecting people to hear you. That's not possible, right? Because there are a lot of people speaking. Your competitors are also speaking, right? Even the people that are trying to get into the market, they are speaking. Imagine yourself being in the red ocean part of the market. Red ocean is basically an oversaturated, marketing venture. Sorry, not marketing, business venture. Let me just say business venture, right? Or environment, right? And you do not have any data to drive your marketing strategy. You would not speak to anybody. Nobody would even pay heed to you, right? Nobody would even pay attention at all, right? In fact, you would waste your resources, your time, both human, both capital, and you would not have any results. You will not have any tangible revenue coming into you. A lot of small businesses make that mistake. Everybody just wants to sell on Instagram.
Share your music.
Everybody just wants to sell on Instagram. Everybody just wants to sell online. They do not define who they want to sell to. They do not define who they should be selling to. They just come, open a page, and that's it. That's why you see some of them always dancing, some of them always shouting. They do not have a particular strategy or even data backing up what they are selling, right? Maybe some of them will just say, oh, because my friend is doing this, let me do this. Market research or data-driven decision-making helps you to position yourself properly. It helps you to even create that positioning, right? It helps you to call yourself a particular name. I want to always go back to giving this example. Apple, the likes of Apple, the likes of Google, the likes of even Samsung, right? These people work with data. They do not make any decision without going to the insights they've gathered over the years. That is why I know that most people would argue with me and say, okay, Apple keeps on churning out the same thing over and over and over and over again. But the truth is, people will keep on buying. They've been able to position themselves and cloud our judgments. As it is like this, our judgments are clouded though, because there's nothing Apple brings out that I'm not attracted to. I don't know about you. There's nothing Apple brings out that I'm not attracted to or excited to know what is in it. Even if my phone looks the same over the years, I still want to know. I still want to get the next one, because sometimes it feels like, oh, they've been able to create that fear of missing out in their audience by understanding what ticks. They understand that, what's the word, luxury sells. They understand it. Rolls Royce, the same thing. They understand that luxury sells. I mean, who doesn't want to feel luxurious? Who doesn't want to feel like they are amongst the 1% of the 1%? Who doesn't want to feel that way? Right? So that is what data-driven decision making is. That is what it eventually comes to be, right? It gives you advocates. We call them brand advocates, right? People that are loyal to the core to your brand. That's basically what it gives you. It brings your customers to become, right? You will hear of people standing in line over there wanting to catch the new release of Apple at all the time. You hear of people waiting to see what Apple is bringing out next. On YouTube, people are tuning into YouTube to see the new Apple releases. That's awesome for me. That's next level marketing, right? And I would love to see most Nigerian brands get to that point, right? So, like I mentioned, data-driven decision making, it eliminates guesswork. It helps you to predict consumer behavior. It improves ROI on campaigns, and it enhances customer engagement and satisfaction. Apple has all of this. They've been able to break that, how would I put it? They've been able to break that glass form. They've been able to go deep into their customers and fine-tune them and tweak them to always listen to their brand whenever they come to place or whenever they come to play. They've been able to drive revenue, with data, because I know that they always do research. I know, I am very 100% sure that research always happens. One other company that I worked with that has been very hands-on, or is that has made research its world, is the financial organization that I worked with, right? Because we work in the financial space, right? We needed to consistently understand what the economy is saying. How is our money working for us? What kind of stocks do we push out there? We had stockbrokers, we had investment bankers, we had registrars, people that, that deal with money, and not small money, big money. So if you're dealing with big money, you have to research. You have to understand what the economy is saying. You have to understand policies. You have to know what policy is being made. You have to basically be the ears, or would I say the mirror of your customers, because through you, they then know what the market is saying. They then know where to put their money. Because if they make any loss, they'll come back to you. They'll put the blame on you. So research is essential in our everyday lifestyle, right? Data is essential in decision making. So let's move forward. The data to decision framework. How do you move from one point to another when using data to make your decision? First thing first, you gather data through market research, through customer surveys, through web analytics. Like I mentioned, our social media platforms, or what I say Meta, has made it very easy for us to, get our analytics, our insights, just at the tip of our fingertips. Customer surveys can take a different kind of, format, be it polls on social media, be it handwritten forms, be it even just asking questions, going on live, your Instagram live, and when your audience join, you start asking them questions, or you tell them to ask you questions, and you start, answering it, right? Or you have your polls on your post, and you're like, oh, yes or no. Do I help you to do this? Do I help you to do that? Different kind of research. The market research, maybe you're gathering insights from your competitors, or your social listening, you're looking at your social media pages, or your competitors' social media pages. What are they doing differently? What are you doing differently? What is working for them? What's not working for you? As where you get your SWOT analysis, the pestle, stuff like that. Then you analyze your insights, you identify trends, your customer pain points, right? That's after gathering your data, you then analyze it, which then becomes, from data, it becomes insights. Mind you, data is the raw form. Then from data, it becomes, insights. There you then see, oh, these are the trends. Is it women that are continuously, engaging on my post? Is it men? Are they buying this sugar flavored popcorn? Should I make it my core products that I'm selling? Are they buying these MTN stocks? Should I make it the core stock that I'm pushing, that I'm selling, or I'm trading for? So many things. So it helps you to analyze your insights. In making decisions, you then start to adjust your strategy based on what you've seen, based on the trends, based on what your customers have been saying to you. You then start to adjust your strategy based on that. Then you implement and you test. A/B testing, it has become more popular because you don't just run one campaign and decide that this is the only thing I'm going to do. You want to tweak it. You want to say, okay, if it's not performing like this, if I tweak it to say, come and buy, are these people going to, engage more with it? If I say, oh, click now, are they going to click? Or if I say, please click, is it going to work? So that's basically what A/B testing, running two things in, maybe not necessarily simultaneously, but you could run the first one and see what it does. Then run the second one and say, okay, because I tweaked it to say this particular thing, these are the results. So that means maybe campaign A did better. So you say, okay, campaign A is how we are going to be moving forward as we go. Then you refine based on feedback and results. So this is just showing you how to, move from point A to B when, trying to get data-driven decision making. So these are the types of market research. Sorry, moving too fast. The types of market research you should know: surveys, focus groups, social media polls. I've consistently, said these, interviews. Then secondary research, industry reports, competitor analysis, and social listening. So there are a whole lot more. There are a whole lot more, but then there's primary and secondary. Primary is when you do your data collection yourself, while secondary is going through existing data. What have other people collected? What have other people, what have other people said about this particular thing? So those are like the types of market research that we have. Sorry, there's something popping up and it's refusing to go up. Sorry, please hold on. I don't understand. Okay. Can you see my screen, please? Can you still see my screen?
Yes, yes, we can.
Okay, so basically all I've been saying has still brought us to using market research to improve our marketing skills, right? If I take a step back, you would see that while we are getting data or while we are gathering data, there are a lot of things that are changing in our mindsets. Our mindsets are changing, our knowledge is increasing, we are getting to understand more what we need to do, what we are not supposed to do, right? So that's basically what market research helps you, to achieve, or what data to decision making helps you or brings to, it's refines your marketing skills, right? It brings you to a point where you can beat your chest and say, yes, I know this thing. Yes, this is how to do it. This is how I've done it. And these were the results, right? So all of these things that I'm mentioning here, it's not new. As marketing professionals, it is not new. right? It's not, there are no new words. There are things that, you know, have been consistent. And when you're consistent with something, you will definitely get used to it. You definitely beat your, in fact, closing your eyes, you'll be like, no, let's do this, right? You'll be able to tell a brand, you know, where it's getting it wrong. You'll be able to say, oh, this is what you've been doing. Has it worked? No, it hasn't worked. So let us do it this way. You'll be able to stand on your feet, you know, think very fast and say, this is what the audience wants. This is how to go about it, right? So yes, it helps you to understand your audience, right? When you want to do your persona, you would no longer, you know, guess and say, oh, is this how this person would behave if this person is maybe say 18 to 25, because you consistently research, you consistently do market research, you are able to say, oh, Gen Zs would love, say, fast fashion. They would love things that won't stress them. Because everything that we look at, every commercial, every advertising campaign that is being run, we are also, so either consciously or subconsciously, we are doing market research, right? And when you, it then, how would I put it? I think for me, how it has helped me refine myself is that when I look at a particular campaign, I don't just see it ordinarily. I don't just look at it ordinarily. I then begin to understand the thought process, you know, that made them to, you know, derive at that particular campaign. I then begin to appreciate that that decision that was made to, you know, to coin out a particular campaign. Or I then like begin to appreciate that precision.
Yes, I would like some of your echoes.
Okay, that precision, you know, to derive at this awesome thing. There are a lot of advertising campaigns that I've seen, and I'm blown away, right? And I'm like, oh wow. There are a lot of advertising copies I've seen, and I'm like, wow, how did this person even think about this, right? And I'm also in awe of myself when, you know, I also think about certain things, or maybe I'm just talking and I'm like, and I just blot out something, and wisdom, you know, it just helps you to understand more, right? It removes you from that cocoon of distorted thinking. It helps to refine you. It helps to restructure how you see things, right? When you want to maybe say do an event, you do not just want to throw an event. It helps you to now say, these are the kind of people I want in my event. This is how I want my event to shape the audience, you know, their decision making. This is how I want them to see this movie. Or I would say that market research helped me a lot when, you know, during my time or my stint in Film House, right? It's when you market when you market for a movie, you don't just market out of the blues, right? Most people will see us throwing events, doing so many fun things, and think we are just doing it for doing sake. No, we're not just doing it for doing sake. And some people will see us pushing a particular movie harder than we push the others, and they will say, oh, why are they doing this, right? And you'll be like, oh, why exactly? Some people would see some movies and think, okay, maybe this movie is more interesting than this movie. Why are they pushing this one and not pushing this one? But because we've done our market research, when I was in film marketing, when I began to understand how film marketing works, I began to see the little steps that, you know, defined, you know, decision making for the company, for the organization, or, you know, understanding how to basically push a movie. Like we had to go back, you know, back into the past, right? We had to look at the previous numbers. That's the first thing. Look at the previous numbers. Look at the genre of a movie. You know, what other movie came out, you know, that was like this? What did it make? You know, how did the audience see it, perceive it? So how did they see it? What marketing activities were done then? You know, what then will now be the projection of this particular new one that we want? You know, for example, when we pushed, you know, Deadpool and Wolverine, we looked at the former Deadpool, you know, what was new in this one, right? This new one, what was it? The new or defining thing was Wolverine. Wolverine was from X-Men of over how many years ago that some Gen Zs might not even know, right? And we had to say, we were very excited. We that knew who Wolverine was. A lot of people were excited because we had not seen Wolverine in ages. When the first Wolverine X-Men movie came out, and we're like, oh wow, Wolverine is is coming up in this movie, and we need people to know Deadpool and also know Wolverine. So we still looked at the previous movies. We looked at what they did. Then we also said that okay, we can use nostalgia to push this movie. We can also Deadpool is a very smart what was the word? His responses are very funny, he's insultive, how do we want to then, do we want to focus on that, or do we want to use his funny acts to push the movie? So we came up with a skit campaign, and that skit went viral. Everybody started saying, oh, Nigerian Deadpool here and there. With that, we're able to push that movie to being the best performing Hollywood movie for last year, right? So these are like some of the ways market research could help you to improve your marketing skills. It helps you to even understand what your competitors are doing, right? You begin to say, okay, you begin to see what your competitors are seeing that is making them better than you. You begin to see their weaknesses as well that you could use to now bridge the gap, right? You begin to understand how they think, what they see, what they are seeing, what their own vision is. Then you are able to tweak your own vision to bridge the gap, right? Then you also begin to know how to position a brand. If you see a brand today, like if I see maybe a small business and I look at what you're selling, I already know that, okay, this is what these other people have been doing. Why not we do it this way? I worked with a perfume brand some time back, just a small business. And, she came to me, she was like, oh, she wasn't selling, this and this. A lot of people are also doing it. And I was like, so if a lot of people are doing it, what is your own unique selling point? What difference can you make in this particular thing? And we went to work. We started looking at, okay, this is what this person sells. This is what you are currently selling. Why not you focus on this particular product, right? Maybe say flowery scents. Why not focus on only flowery scents? So this is your unique selling point. Anybody that wants to listen or wants to get any flowery scent, they come to your shop. That's your core. That's how you're going to position yourself. And that was it. And before you knew it, we started getting traction into her inboxes. We started getting people coming to purchase stuff from her. And that was it. That was how she started growing her business, right? So it helps you to know how to position a brand, how to identify that gap, how to move your brand from that, or how to make them unique in that red ocean in an oversaturated market. Because to be honest, every market is oversaturated. You just have to speak differently from the others. You have to speak differently from your competitors. So market research would help you to fine-tune how to perceive brands, right? How to position them, what kind of archetype would fit this brand, right? What way, how should it, what would be their voice, their tone, how do they speak to their customers? It will help you to think on your feet and say, okay, your brand should actually do this, should speak this way, right? So this is how market research basically improves your marketing skills. It also helps you to optimize your campaigns, like I said earlier, right? You do not just guesswork and say, oh, you want to push out a particular campaign. Just like that, you would be able to look at your insights, what you've done previously, how you've done it, and you'll be able to then fine tune to then get success, right? You would be able to look at a campaign and see what is wrong with it. You'll be able to look at a campaign and tell them, oh, this campaign is not going to work. This copy is not just working for our audience, right? You'll be able to think so fast that I want to give an example, right? When we wanted to push Kung Fu Panda in my previous workplace, and I was like, oh wow, we have mascots, right? let's just do that. Right? This is an animation. It's coming when children are going to school. When would they even have the time to watch? But do you know that we adults, we find mascots cute? Have you seen the rave of mascots in weddings? Right? Have you seen the rave of mascots? Everybody wants to hug, the gorillas. They want to hug the panda, and that was how we used Kung Fu, the panda mascots to drive admissions for Kung Fu Panda. So I termed it Meet with Panda while watching Kung Fu Panda. That was how we drove that campaign, and Kung Fu Panda, the admissions skyrocketed. Let me just give it a number. It skyrocketed from 1,000 to over 3,000 admissions. Over 3,000 people watching a movie that we didn't even believe in. In fact, I would give thanks to our CEO then, who really pushed us to say, oh, why exactly are we putting this particular budget on this movie? You do not believe that this movie can do over 100 million? Is that what you are saying? And that movie actually went to do over 100 million. It's exceeded our expectations, right? Just because of that little push, that little research that we had done, that little understanding of what could attract people to our locations, right? Which, thanks to market research, actually, thanks to market research. So those are like the 4 key things that I highlighted to say how, or to show how market research improves our marketing skills. Now, this case study is how data transformed into a marketing campaign, right? This is not real. It's just something just to show you how data and market research helps to basically give you results, right? So the scenario is a movie screening was underperforming. Movie screening is basically showing, screening a movie. That's movies that are showing in the cinema, right? So the data after our surveys, our little polls, little questions here and there, the operation teams, we task the operation. Let's say we are tasking the operation team to ask their customers, what do they want? Do they like discounts? Things they like. So our insights came to be, customers wanted weekend discounts. Social media users wanted interactive experiences. Competitor analysis showed demand for themed events. So what were the actions taken? So with your insights, you have to align with what you've gotten. You have to do your strategy, or you have to create your strategy based off of what you've gotten, right? So that's also how market research helps you. It helps you to know what kind of strategy to use, right? It helps you to understand what sort of strategy to put in place to derive action or to derive results, right? So let's say you then launch your discount bundles for families or for friends that come in. You then hosted a live costume activation. Then you partnered with influencers to spread awareness, and the result, you increase admissions by 2 times in 2 weeks, right? So that's basically how data-driven decision making comes to play in your marketing, in the marketing space, or how would I say, market research comes to play in the marketing space. So this is just continuing what I've, just basically hitting the nail on the head continuously. So you get to understand how market research and data gives you smart decisions, right? Or helps you to arrive at smart decisions. A/B testing, I'll keep on saying it. You have to keep on testing your campaigns. What is working, what works, what is not working, how is my customer, how are they resonating with this particular campaign, how are they not resonating with this particular campaign. Your feedback is always essential in marketing. It is one thing that should never be absent. You should always know what your customers are saying. You should always know what your customers are saying. Then your metrics, how exactly are you also getting to know what works or what is not working? How are you understanding it, right? So that means your click-through rates, how many people have clicked on this ad, how many people have clicked to purchase tickets, how many people have clicked to watch this or to join this webinar, how many people have purchased popcorn, how many people have purchased this book, your book, your engagement. Are real people commenting, or is it bots, right? Is it bots that are on your page? How then do you know that? So even with this, you get to know if bots are actually on your page or not. So you'll be able to audit and clean up your social media page. Then your budget, it helps you to know where to put your money at, right? With data and with market research, you then begin to know, okay, do I allocate more my budget to traditional marketing, or do I do digital marketing, or do I do experiential, or do I do events, or do I do discounts, or do I do promotions? You get to know which channel is performing higher and which, where your money should be at. I recently did, an assignment from the course a short course I'm currently taking on marketing strategy, and we had to create a budget for, advertising to get, say, 1,000 people into an academy, to get more inquiries. And, I had to say, oh, which particular marketing channel can work for me, right? I will know that digital would be one of the core, because I want people to make inquiries. That means I can easily put a WhatsApp number on my Facebook page or even my Instagram right now and run ads, right? So I'm running ads to direct people to call me for, inquiries, right? So I can easily do a landing page that directs people to, as they're making inquiries, they're also giving me data, telling me about themselves, telling me what they do. So I know the people that my ad is even reaching, right? So it's with that, I'm achieving my objectives already, which means that my inquiries will increase for the day. 1,001 people can even reach out to say, oh, they want to join my academy. So budget allocation, it helps you to allocate your budget to high performing channels, to places where will bring in the numbers, will bring in the results. That is basically how, data-driven decision making helps you, right? Audience segmentation, why one size doesn't fit all. Like I said, it will help you to build your buyer persona, right? It will help you to understand how to speak, or who to even speak with. Let's start from there. To help you to understand who to speak to, right? Who do you even want to speak to, right? It will help you to know how to speak to them, when to speak to them, what to say to them, the 5 whys of marketing, right? It will help you understand the 5 whys. And with that, you'll be able to make smart campaign decisions, smart marketing decisions, right? So smart, basically specific, measurable, and I always forget the remaining one, timely, I think results, and I've forgotten the A, right? It will help you to make smart campaign decisions, right? Because one audience cannot fit into all your newer campaigns. It's not possible. It's not possible, right? When Airtel came with Data is Life, what they started doing was, under that Data is Life, they started acting, short form movies. They started speaking to the family. They moved from speaking to one person to speaking to a group of people, to creating and crafting different kind of campaign adverts, for that particular statement. Data is Life, right? So it helps you to understand your audience and how to speak to them. You can't keep on speaking to them in one way. It's not possible. You have to keep on refining. You have to keep on bringing out refreshing ideas on how to speak with them. So that's what data helps you to do. That's what market research helps you to do. It improves that strategic thinking for you, right? It improves that visualization. It helps improve your vision, right? The vision to see, to see what next, to know what's next, to know how next you can keep on speaking to your customers, to your audience, right? And it gives you that full-on knowledge of who your audience are. So you don't get stuck when speaking to them, or you don't misstep when speaking to them. I think MTN did something recently, and they put out a communication, a press release. I was indifferent about it because I found it fun. At the same time, I also didn't understand what they were trying to say. I didn't know that. So I think they listened and saw that their customers were sort of grumbling about data, the increment, then they put out a communication saying, oh, I think they wrote it in pidgin. Some people were arguing against it, saying, oh, why would it be this informal? Some others liked it, and with that, you have to, that's also another way of getting data, right? So you're like, okay, some part of my audience don't actually like that I used, pidgin to speak to them, while others understood and, enjoyed that, I spoke to them in this, informal way. So it just helps you to weigh, the pros and cons when you're communicating with your audience. It helps you to understand how they think, what they feel that you should actually say to them. And with that, you're shaping or you are changing their attention, or you're bringing their attention towards you. To then your how would I put it? You're leading them to put their ears down for you. That's basically what data helps you to do. And market research will help you to gather the data will help you to get the insights on, and eventually it will help you to position your brand eventually. So this is leveraging data for content and social media. A lot of us are on social media. A lot of us do content marketing. We throw all the buzzwords out there, and you do not know that data is very, very essential, for us as social media marketers, or social media managers, as content marketers. A lot of people just churn out content just like that, without even taking a step back to say, oh, what's my previous content? How has it performed? How have people, accepted it? Are they even reading it? Some people will say, okay, yes, I know that a lot of people will say, keep on doing it. One day it will click. But you don't just keep on doing it in the blind. You have to open your eyes, and data opens your eyes, right? As a social media manager, as a content writer, I used to write content then before, but then I didn't even understand, I was just writing. I was just being hired to write, right? I didn't understand, then data gathering wasn't necessarily, I think it's just now that phase of, oh, data, you have to understand data, how to put data in place, how to define data, it's just now the craze for data is happening. But data has always existed, right? But a lot of us didn't just know it then. I didn't. I don't know about you, but I didn't know it then. So it didn't really inform a lot of things for me. I was just doing things, right? I was just doing things. I was just doing it, just, floating. But when it clicked that data was essential, when it clicked that data was essential, my eyes opened. I started seeing things. I started understanding, even the littlest mistakes, right, on social media, on content. I can look at a person's page and I'll say, oh, this person is just playing. This person doesn't understand what he or she is doing. I think there's this couple. I think they're in Canada. I want to say that I used to, enjoy their content, and then they moved to music, I started, doing all this very funny music production, and I was like, is it that? And they started losing audience. And I'm like, is it that you guys didn't understand that it is what you are doing? That's the funny skit that you guys were doing is what is bringing your audience to this. And I saw their page recently. They've gone back to that, and their page likes and engagement has increased again. So with what am I trying to say? So data is very essential when you are a social media manager, or when you're a content creator, when you're as a marketing person, in fact, because all of these are under marketing. You're marketing something, just doing it online, just doing it digital, right? It helps you to identify what your audience cares about. It gives you the time. The best time to post it's all on Instagram. When you check your insights, you see it there. It reads, oh, this is the time when your engagements are high. This is the time when people are liking your posts the most. This is the kind of post they like. They will always tell you, okay, your reels performed, this. Your page is growing at this. They even show you on your data page, how many people have come since you started doing a certain thing, right? It helps you to adjust content based on shares and comments. So data is a huge part of marketing. So these are just key performance indicators on how to track that marketing activities that you've been able to do through market research and data and through gathering data. So your customer engagement, which are examples are likes, shares, comments, conversion rates, website clicks, purchases, and your customer retention. Are people, coming back to visit your page? Are they now beginning to, to understand what your brand is about, stuff like that. So there are different kinds of key performance indicators, right? But these are just, a little bit of it that I've mentioned here. So I'm almost done. Like I said, I don't want to do a complete 2 hours because I want us to talk. What are the key lessons from today's webinar? Market research is essential. Every marketing skill requires research. Like I've basically drummed it for the past 1 hour plus that I've been speaking. Data-driven decisions outperform guesswork. Always use insights. Customer-centric marketing wins. You have to always know your audience. Then you test, analyze, and improve. Marketing is continuous optimization. You always have to continually optimize your strategy. The strategy you had in January, or maybe from the beginning of the year, by the time you're in March, you've already seen that these people are moving towards Instagram these days, or people are going towards X nowadays, or people are aligning to skits making these days. So you have to keep on tweaking and tweaking. That's how you tweak until the year. Even when you look at the environment, the economy, the policies that are, I think currently you have to, engage with ARCON for any ads that you're running on your page, so you have to be able to optimize and say, okay, how do I then get across to ARCON? So your social listening, you're listening as a brand, you're listening as a content creator. So you have to continuously optimize, right? It's marketing is not stationary, it's not stagnant, it's not water in a gutter, it's a flowing river, right? It's continuous. So you have to consistently test, analyze, and improve. So I have an activity, but I do not know that we have time because I want us to just discuss a bit. So, but let's just do this in our heads and let's see if we understand or we've understood what, was said. But I will share this with Sheon and see if she will share with everybody else, just to, in our alone time, just try it out. So you choose a product or service, you identify what data you need to market it effectively, decide how to collect and analyze that data, and suggest one marketing strategy based on findings. This is our everyday work as marketers. I'm sure it's not a hard nut to crack. So please, please, and please, you do not just take in knowledge, you have to act on it for it to become part of you. Is one thing I've learned over the years. If you do not consistently do, you will be stuck, right? So you have to consistently do, you have to consistently show results, even as a marketing person, not just for the brands, but for you as yourself, right? For you to even get stronger and get better as a marketing professional. Thank you very much. Are there any questions? Thank you. Any questions? I think the room is open for all of us to ask questions.
Hello. Good afternoon. Okay. So I would like to ask, I'm a social media manager. I have just 1 year experience, but I'm hoping to lean more into marketing full time. So okay, in the case where I work with a multi-business company. They have a restaurant, they have a supermarket, they have a salon, they even have a photo studio. So I'm their social media manager, and I want to do so much when it comes to content marketing for them. But the fact that they are rigid when it comes to market research. They are very rigid, and I don't know, I feel like as a social media manager, I have very little. If I come up with an idea and say, okay, let me share it with them, they more or less don't even take it up. And the fact that I'm online, I post things, I put content out, I see what works and what doesn't work, and they don't want to don't really want to tap into these things. They just do things rigidly, and they expect more results from me because they are expecting results from me when they are not cooperating. How do I work in such environment, such workspace where I want to do much as a content marketer, but I'm not getting the result. I'm not getting all the necessary things I need, like their marketing, what's it called? The company's marketing strategies is very rigid. They don't make enough research. They just do things out of I don't know, outside of data, like we said, like what we've been talking about. So how do I work in such space? Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much, Aditone, for that question. So I think the first question I'll ask is, how do you present, this, insights to them, right? As I think one thing that I've consistently or I've had to learn over the years is to always use data. So data results or data insights and results have to work hand in hand. In whatever presentation that you are doing, you first of all, you gather your data. So you just follow that data. So when I share the slides, you see the data framework, right? Put it or impute it or implement it as a PowerPoint, right? What is the data you've gotten, right? Mind you, you first of all do an audit of the social media page, right? And their competitors' social media pages or any brand that does something similar with you, right? So you've gathered your data. So you put it as your market report or what the market says. Afterwards, you then say insights, what you have gotten, what is that data, or how you've gathered or how I have gathered my data. Third thing would then be your insights. Then the fourth thing would then be the results if these particular insights are followed through. That is how you start your argument with an organization that is rigid. Trust me, a lot of organizations are rigid because they do not want to spend money and they do not understand the necessity or they do not understand how to use data to arrive at results, right? So you as a social media person or you as a marketing professional now has to understand that data for them and show them in the easiest and simplest way, right? You, as a marketer, you don't speak with just words. You have to speak with results. You have to speak with images. You have to speak with a picture. So you have to build a story for them and show them. You have to build that vision for them and show them this is where you would be if we do that, if we do this, if we do A, if we do B. This is what we are currently doing. This is what others are currently doing. Now, if we do what others, if others are being or are successful in what they're doing, if we do it, this is where we would be. We would be like them. And if we do more, this is how much more we will be better than them. So as a marketer, you have to learn how to paint pictures with data, right? If you've not been doing that, implement it this way, right? So you have to learn how to paint a picture. You gather your data, you gather your insights, you show them the results. I do hope it helps, but there are some organizations that are quite rigid and do not want to learn. So what you do, or what I would always advise, by the time I see an organization that is not ready to learn from my wealth, my mountain of knowledge and how I've been doing things and I've been getting results, I pack my bags and I move to the one that I would also excel in. I will help them to excel, right? I know that you are still young in the industry, but I always advise you if you're going for results, please move away from people that will not let you to achieve that result. I'm sorry. Okay, so Shehu, your hands are raised.
Yes, if I may just contribute a little to some of the things Chiamaka has correctly said. I think as marketing professionals or as marketing communications experts, one thing that we have consistently run away from a sales, right? Or wearing the sales hat. For example, at Eccentric, once the customer says, "Oh, how will our leads convert for us?" or "How much are you going to generate?" we just say, "No, no, no,
Yeah.
no, we don't do sales." But unfortunately, in my role
So,
during my
yeah.
full-time job, I had to wear the sales hats because that rigidness that Chiamaka was talking about is something that I experienced firsthand. But at that point, you have to get the job done. So
Yeah.
you have to wear any hat at that particular point to ensure that the job is done. And one of the things that we need to start doing as marketers is being focused on sales and the return on investment on our marketing spend. For example, at CWG, I wanted to achieve two things, right? Brand positioning, and also finding a way to get, return on investment for the company. So I had to achieve both of them because they had the sales orientation, like Chiamaka mentioned too as well. So, was it Aditun that asked that question?
Yeah. Yes.
Chiamaka was correct where she
Yes.
said you have to show them what they are getting in return. And if it has to do with sales, get dirty to say this is how much we're getting as a company or earning as a company. If we invest in this on the digital marketing point of view, this is the amount of leads that we will get. Subsequently, this is the amount of leads that will be converted 10%. If we get 100 leads, we convert 10%, and subsequently would contribute 10% increment to the revenue and all of that. You have to be very creative. You have to always go back to your drawing board to see how to ensure that your objective is achieved in the end. There's something I've observed, right? Great people in great organizations are not people that necessarily know the job. They are people that
Yeah.
are able to work through people. So
Yeah.
if you say that you're working with rigid people, there's a way that you can communicate to them, by understanding what is priority to them. You communicate that, and it will just help you to be
Sure.
effective, whatever work you do. I just wanted to add that quickly.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sharon. You're very, very correct. Very, very correct. Because a lot of organizations these days, due to the economy, are now sales oriented, right? So they would always want to ask, how much are you bringing in? How much would this bring in? So you also have to have it in mind that you have to get your hands dirty. And I think at Dayton, I would also love to tell you to be intentional about getting your hands dirty when it gets to results. Sheon has basically said it all, and that's the actual truth. You're just starting, learn everything and anything, you know, make your mistakes, but always, always have a goal of bringing in the results. So I hope we answered your questions.
Yes, you did. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Camila, please go ahead.
Hello, good morning. Thank you for the session. It was great. I learned a lot. So, I recently transitioned from a social media management role to a marketing coordinator role, and I wanted to ask you for your suggestions on data tools that can speed up research aside specific social media insights.
Okay, so there's Google Analytics, right? We have Google Analytics. I know that you could use some CRM tools. That's if the organization is ready to be automated though, right? You could use HubSpot, the likes of HubSpot, to get your results. You could also learn from your scheduling tools, right? I know that scheduling tools are now being so refined, to give you data on your best posting times, stuff like that. So what else? What else? I don't know, maybe Sharon, help me here, please.
Yes. So it depends on what you're also trying to achieve at different points. Chiamaka mentioned things like smart objectives, your KPIs, and all of that. So if it's customer research that you're trying to get data from, Google is your friend. You can always check like past research works, and it's to give you like, so the secondary data and primary data like Chiamaka mentioned. past research work to give you data on, customer behavior, demographics, and all of that. Or you use surveys and you go into the field, work with a data analyst to collate your data. If it's specific to social media management or digital marketing, like Chemaka also mentioned, there are scheduling tools that help. Then the specific social media platform that you're working on helps too as well. For Instagram, there's Instagram analytics. For Facebook, there's Facebook analytics. For Twitter, there's Twitter analytics. But I know now that you have to be a subscribed user to have access to that. There's LinkedIn analytics, there's Google analytics. So for events too as well, you have to use, events, you have to use surveys. I mean, after your events, surveys to make that happen. For sales activation too as well, you use post activation surveys to make that happen. But there are a lot of secondary data on Google that you can work with to ensure that your data is very comprehensive. But what is very important at the beginning of every research work is to set what your research objectives are, so that, it can help you. Is it customer data you're trying to get? Is it, and, if it's revenue generation or revenue growth, you have to work with your finance team to look at what your previous trend or what your trend analysis where revenue generation is concerned, so that it can help you know what products to focus on, where the growth of your business or revenue growth is, and so many other deep things. I hope Chemaka and I have been able to help you.
Please also know that
yes, you have. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Also know that you can ask even within your organizations, right? I know that most times we always look at market research as being something so large and everything. You can easily bring, even people within your organization are your audience, right? Yes, there might be biases, but they also are people that could use your products, right? So you can easily gather data from them, do like a mini focus group or a mini survey within the organization just to gather that data at that particular time, right? So don't look at market research as something that is hard to do, and don't look at data as something that is hard to collect. You can get data anywhere. Even as you walk on the street, you can get data, right? If you look at, previously done campaigns, previously done marketing activities, you can get data from there.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I think Oyin raised her hand first. So Oyin, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. So my question is, what would you advise a marketing manager that works at a consulting firm, and they organize a lot of events, like let's say in a month, they have like 3 webinars, and their core primary services are audit and advisory. So let's say the first webinar they organize is okay, so let me go back. They offer audit and advisory services for international standards. So let's say the first event is on, let's say, ISO 9001. The second event is on ISO 31000, and so on and so forth. So it's like there's a lot to push. There's a lot to market. And then they want it that way. They want webinars monthly that way. So what would you advise the marketing manager to do?
They want webinars monthly.
Yes.
Are webinars like their core marketing strategy?
Yes.
That's their core marketing strategy. And before you even do anything at all, I want to believe that, or I want to believe the marketing manager understands the objectives of the organization, right? So are you asking that it's tiring, or are you asking that is it a wise marketing decision? Like, I'm just trying to get your question.
I feel like there's little time to be able to, there's not much gap in between these webinars to be able to give appropriate attention to each webinar. So I think that it's quite a lot, but I'm also asking for your advice that what do you think about it?
Well, the truth is, marketing is continuous, right? We always market something. And I feel like if there's a calendar already set in place, then you can do it this way. You can publish your calendar, right? You can, at every point in time, you can keep on shouting about, webinars that you would be having through the year, right? So basically you are pushing that, oh, we are an educational brand, or we are a brand that is not just a bridge between you and this, but would also teach you, what it entails to be, of international standard, right? So you can work with a calendar, right? Then you start positioning, once you start positioning your brand as an educating brand, you are able to say, okay, first, this month we'll have this webinar, this month we'll have this webinar, this month we'll have this webinar. So when a particular month comes in, you then know that you've done like a majority of your marketing pushing, saying that, oh, we're having like a couple of webinars all through the year. When that particular month comes, right, you then start, tweaking your strategy or tweaking your campaign based off of that particular strategy. Based off that particular webinar. While I understand that is quite a lot, but we as marketers have to know how to plan ahead, right? I mean, when I was working in movie marketing, we had 10 up to 10 movies in a month, and you just had to sell. You had to sell them, right? So we always made that mistake of being a bit too late to sell some, while some were outliers. So even without the marketing, they still did well, where some were safe with them. But the truth is, as marketers, you have to always plan ahead. You have to always have your calendar, in place. You have to always understand who you're speaking to, and then, right? Yes, sometimes it's overwhelming, but other times you have to always look ahead and know what you want to achieve, then put a plan in place on how to achieve it. Shaun, please go ahead.
Chiamaka, I hope I'm not interrupting your session and forming.
No, it's fine. My voice is going already.
Sorry, I just wanted to add to what you said, right? Chiamaka, accurately said that marketing is continuous. Another thing that we need to do as marketers is be humble enough to know when to move on. A lot of people have a challenge with marketing departments because we have this, oh, I too know behavior, I know it all, I have done it before,
Are
it
you
has worked.
sure?
A large percentage of times that I have seen, honestly. But I think it's not us against the world, right? It's working together well. The executive management to see how to just achieve the end goal. So knowing when to move on
Sure.
is very important quickly. If something is not working, don't stay on it. It's always very obvious with data, like Chiamaka mentioned. Just move on. Chiamaka also mentioned something about A/B testing, right? I want to believe that for any organization to recommend monthly webinars, you must have tested and you have seen that it works. So if it's working on a monthly basis, why not? If it's contributing to your growth as an organization, why not? But if you have tested first 3 months, you do it on a monthly basis, and it hasn't worked, then show them the data of what is going on. Show a report on why this isn't working and it's not contributing to us. It's just wasting our effort and time, and why we need to move on quickly to the next big thing. And in that situation, another thing might be that you're not being creative with your webinars. I think it's a bit boring if you come on a monthly basis and everybody's expecting this. Your is open remarks. You move to the training, introduce trainer, move to the training session, and move. No, be a bit creative about how you make it happen. Let them expect something. Some days take them into like a live session where you have all your cameras, you have the presenter, and somebody's presenting it's like a virtual experience where they're experiencing whatever product or service that you have to offer. The next month, bring in, definitely always have a pull strategy. Bring in another speaker that they look up to. You said consulting, maybe bring in somebody from PwC or bring in somebody from Deloitte. So the next month, just ensure that the audience is excited and you're having creative ways to entice them on a monthly basis. So the question is, having webinars on a monthly basis, is it effective? Yes, it is. It's dependent on how creative you are and ensure that you have to test, in the first place. And if you test and you see you have done all you need to do as a marketing person and you see that it is not working, do your report, right? And say that at the beginning we had 100 people. Next 3 months we had 50 people. Next 6 months we had 20 people. This is not working and we really need to move on. That is the importance of data and research. So your eyes just have to be on the ball and on guard, like real quick. Wanted to contribute that. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Sharon. You basically said it all.
All right.
Right.
Thank you so much. Thank you. This has really helped me. Thank you.
Okay. I think the next person is Precious. Yes, Precious, please go ahead.
Good day, everybody. Thank you for the section. Okay, please, I wanted to ask, I work as a marketing consultant in a media consulting firm, and what we do majorly is we do media buying. We buy this thing for radio station, TV station. We do advertising on radio station, TV station for companies, and also we do jingle. So I wanted to ask now, if I want to monitor the performance of those jingles that we run on radio and TV station, how am I able to do that?
Okay, so you say you buy, not that you sell. Okay.
No, we buy.
So I think that's one thing that had always been an issue for most brands, right? When it comes to traditional marketing, they always say that traditional marketing, has no insight or has no data to it, right? But then, how did I come to start understanding, what traditional marketing or traditional media? I started requesting because one, your radio stations do actually have their data. They know the number of persons that, they are broadcasting to, they have it. And they also, you will notice that some of them will say, oh, this program blasts to over so and so this for so and so this. Do you understand? So that's basically how you get your data. So you have to request from them, right? How many people are you broadcasting to? How many places can this radio air to? What's the frequency? How many locations can this frequency, be heard at, right? So with that, with their own data, you're able to then inform, your people and say, okay, this message was, blasted to over this, and then if eventually maybe you're running a promotion, right? You're running a promotion, you can easily include radio hype, right? Where you are able to maybe tell the radio personnel hypes your promotion and then tells people to use maybe a certain code or something like that, just for you to be able to track that promotion through radio, right? So there are just different ways that you could track your marketing on traditional media. It might not necessarily be so easy like digital marketing where you see your analytics face to face, but there are different ways. Like I've mentioned, you get data from the broadcasting channel in itself. How many people are listening to them, how many locations does this frequency blast on or blast at. You can use your radio hypes, maybe your OAP personnel, attach a code to that OAP personnel and use it to push that this marketing. Then you say, okay, a number of people came to my space or came to this business with this code. So those are the number of people we got. So you get your percentage of what's the English now? You measure, right? Okay, so this particular number of people are the people they broadcast to, and this particular percentage are the people we got from these people that they broadcasted to, right? So with that, you're able to know your metrics and say, oh, did this work or did this not work? Is it 10% of these people? Is it 5% of these people? Is it 1%? So these are like the ways you can. Precious, go ahead. Your hand is still up.
No, ma, I didn't remove it.
So these are like the ways, with marketing, you have to tweak and tweak and tweak until you just get it, right? Even currently, I'm also thinking of how my influencers can convert for me, right? Because a lot of people will say, oh, how are we so sure this influencer is converting? And I say, okay, so attach a referral code. If you notice, what's that?
Betting company.
Yes, they attach referral codes to their influencers. So the influencers then push people to use their code to bet on their platforms. So with that, they will know which influencer is converting or not, right? So I'm like, okay, that means if I'm going to use them for a particular brand that doesn't even have that kind of thing, that's why you have like your CRM platforms that would help you with it. So you're able to derive referral codes. Maybe you attach it to an OAP or you attach it to a radio station, and you tell them, if you heard this, if you heard my
Adverts.
my advert on this radio station, and you're coming to maybe make purchases with this code, right? So with that, you're tracking that, oh, this radio station really did play my ad. People did listen to my ad and people converted with it. You can even also do discount codes. You can even say, you can do your surveys, right? You go to the business space and you do a mini survey. Where did you know about us from? Right? So with that, you're able to track the success of your ads on both radio and TV. I don't know if I got to answer your question.
Yes, ma. Thank you so much. I got something. The thing you said about creating a unique code that the OAP or radio station
Exactly.
can see,
Yes.
and also asking the radio station for the number of people, the number of listeners they get, and all that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, let me just stop sharing. I don't know if we have any other questions. Any contribution if there are no questions? Okay, I guess my work is done here. Sure.
Okay,
Thank you.
Chiamaka, thank you. Thank you so much. Guys, I want us to give a virtual round of applause. If you don't know how to do, let me teach you how to do it. You just go down, you see react, choose clap, give a virtual round of applause to our speaker, our guest speaker, Chiamaka. I'm sorry, she says her name is Francisca, but to show you that we go way back, right from Babcock, I call her Chiamaka, so just accept. But if you see her on the streets, don't call her Chiamaka. It's for people, it's for our inside people. So please, guys, hype her, clap for her, be all about in the chat box celebrating her. We're so grateful. Did you see and hear the confidence that she spoke with, or that she used to tackle the topic of today, from data to decisions? We're so grateful. Thank you for the knowledge. Like I mentioned, Chiamaka and we started from Babcock, and she's one of those fire girls where marketing is concerned. Behind this, we're going to have a conversation to see how one of us can be mentored by her for a couple of weeks. If she has the time, we'll be very grateful for that. You've even solved the headache for us, because one of the things that we were going to do was to give some of our community members a task on research work, but I see that has even already been included in your presentation. So we usually share on the group chat, and people sending their responses, and we grade it, and the best to just have access to some form of structured mentorship after the conversation. But we'll have that discussion and see if we can make it happen. We're so grateful, so grateful for the knowledge that you have shared with us today. I have learned a lot, really, and I'm going to see how we're going to even take it back and implement in my organization. Thank you so much. I even had some fire Babcock girls, Babcock babes join the conversation. There was Favor at some point, and there was Bolu Banjo at some point. Thank you. And as you were speaking, it was very inspiring, because the vision now became clearer, right? Having a group of empowered, confident women come together and just pouring and sharing knowledge to people that are just starting and upcoming, where the marketing where the marketing field, is concerned. It's our desire, or it's our joy that, chief marketing officers of multinationals, brands like MTN,
That's the
Apple,
goal.
Samsung, exactly, will come out of this group. So the vision is very big. It's changing the narrative of women are always there to bring down other women. We're here to say that women are supporting women, and we're very big on ensuring that we make that happen. So thank you so much. Thank you for being a part of this vision and being a part of our story. We don't take that for granted. We see that a couple of men joined. I don't know, Sha, but men are always joining, the webinar, and we're looking at seeing how we can open it up to being
Okay.
for both genders, at the end of the day, because
Yeah.
knowledge is general and it should not just be restricted. So
Yeah.
we'll consider that and see how to make it happen. The goal was just for women initially, but we see that I think about 2 men joined today, or even 3. So yeah, we'll see how to put that into consideration and do some sort of rebranding or brand and awareness session. Yeah, so Chemaka, thank you. We're so
You're
grateful.
welcome.
Take it for
You're welcome.
granted. So people, Mercy, Karima, please help. We're live on social media. Follow. Like we always say, our vision is 10,000 in the next 5 years, empower 10,000 girls. We have a lot of exciting things that we have in store. Today, at the high points of it, we had about 33 people join. So we have 960 something more, 67 to empower. To empower. So for this year it's 1,000, right? So we have 967 more to empower, and we look forward to how we'll make that happen, but we can't do it alone. If you can volunteer with us, we'll be excited to do that. Follow, spread the words, let's grow the group chat, and let's just do it. It's like an empowerment movement, right? It's not about me, but it's about all of us, doing
Yeah.
something, ensuring that we're bringing empowered, confident people into the world to
That is legal tender.
Okay, I'm just gonna mute you, Jesse. Yep. Going, they're empowered, and we're just going to the world to do stuff. We know that marketing is very overwhelming and it's very broad. There are lots of areas. And we're just trying to ensure that you find your bearing, or you find your power where marketing is concerned. We're also going to ensure that we have a physical session in the next 30 days. Hopefully Chiamaka has that time, because we'll be inviting her to as well for the physical session, where we'll just chat, have conversations.
That's fine. I'm very much available.
Yeah. So we talk about, challenges, we talk about how to solve them together, things that we should expose ourselves and our minds to where marketing is concerned. So this is like a support community, and I look forward to the excitement that we have in future. So yes, thank you. I have been your amazing host, Sheon Koshwedo, co-founder of the Marketing Girls Corner. Thank you so much for joining. We had 17 people join us. When Chiamaka even said it's over, we had about 28 people join us from beginning to end. We had 17 people join, stay with us till the end. We don't take it for granted. There's so many things that you could have been doing today. Preparing for Owambe, you could have been sleeping. I mean, you've worked hard Monday to Friday. Today's Saturday. You could have been sleeping. So many other things, but you decided that you wanted more. You wanted knowledge, and you're here. And we hope that at the end of the day, it will be rewarding for you and open doors and more opportunities for you in Jesus' name. Amen. So, guys, with that, we've come to the end of today's program or webinar. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. Join the WhatsApp group chat. We'll be sending a lot of information there. We'll send the recording of this, also highlights from this, and more activities, Power Packs activities that you should expect. I don't want to talk so much about some of the things that we have kept in the bucket, and please volunteer. We need as much help as possible to spread the word, go to universities to just support girls, and we're spreading or bringing out empowered marketing professionals into the world just right from here. So we're all working together to make it happen. Again, thank you so much. It has been an amazing time with you. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you, Chiamaka. I will definitely be disturbing you in your DM.
No
Enjoy the
problem.
rest of your day, people. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.